Company Incorporated, done by Globex. Hi, and welcome to our presentation on the strategic assessment of Simpson Manufacturing Company Incorporated, done by Globex.
Areas of operation, company profile. For Globex's assessment, we chose the firm Simpson Manufacturing Company Incorporated. They can be found on the stock market under the ticker symbol SSD. Their company is currently headquartered in Pleasanton, California. The company can be found on the internet under the website simpsonmfg.com. They currently operate under the residential and commercial building products industry. In this industry, they manufacture, design, and engineer structural connectors, anchors, and other products for new construction, retrofitting, and Next, in the areas of operation, we look to the segment assessment of Simpson Manufacturing Incorporated. Here we see two charts. The first chart was the operating segment sales from 2014 to 2016, gradually showing an increase in the sale of wood and concrete products. The second chart shows the operating segment profits, also for wood and concrete construction products, also showing a gradual increase. We now come to the operating segments, which further breaks down the segments in which Simpson Manufacturing operates. Wood construction products include connectors, truss plates, fastening systems, fasteners, and prefabricated shear walls, which are used for connecting and strengthening wood-based construction primarily in the residential construction market. Concrete construction products include adhesives, specialty chemicals, mechanical anchors, carbide drill bits, powder-actuated tools, and reinforcing fiber materials, which are used for restoration, protection, or strengthening concrete, masonry, and steel construction in residential, industrial, commercial, and infrastructure. Geographically, Simpson Manufacturing operates in three major geographic segments: the North American segment, the European segment, and the Asia-Pacific region. The North American segment includes operations primarily in the United States and Canada. The European segment includes operations primarily in France, United Kingdom, Germany, Denmark, Switzerland, Portugal, Poland, the Netherlands, and Belgium. The Asia-Pacific region includes operations primarily in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, China, Taiwan, and Vietnam. Next, we come to a very basic diagram of the vertical integration within Simpson Manufacturing. Starting with raw material, they then move to processing, where they process their wood construction connectors, concrete connectors, and fastening systems. From processing, they then move to distribution to the three main areas of distribution: North America, Europe, and the Asian Pacific region. Once distributed, it then moves to the wholesale market, example being Home Depot and Lowe's, and to the retail stores, independent dealers including Sherwin-Williams, Builder's First Choice, and 84 Lumber. After leaving here, we look to recycle the material, once again going back to raw materials for processing. The direct value we see here is the company engineers not only design and test products, but also provide engineering support for customers in connection with a number of products that the company manufactures and sells. The indirect value to the customer is by having these company engineers work so closely with end users, it creates brand awareness and brand loyalty from architects to builders who are deciding on products for.
When assessing Simpson Manufacturing Company's strategic posture at a corporate level, we determined that they have a single business strategy type. This is because 100% of their sales comes from a single industry, the construction. Next, we concluded that the firm uses a broad-based differentiation strategy. They focus on several different markets within their industry, including residential construction, industrial and commercial construction, remodeling, and DIY projects. Since they focus on their current customers rather than their non-current customers, they're considered to have a red ocean. At the functional level, we determined that Simpson Manufacturing leans more towards a differentiation strategy rather than a low-cost one. The firm spends millions of dollars on research and development each year and on average releases 15 to 25 new products each year. They focus on having high quality products and fast delivery versus standard product. They use a branching marketing system in which each subsidiary uses their own methods of. When looking at Simpson Manufacturing's international strategy, we concluded they use a multi-domestic strategy. The firm operates in many countries and has 39 and counting subsidiaries, in which use different marketing methods based on their region. The first image shows the firm's 3 segments and the properties within each, and below shows the current list of subsidiaries.
Based upon market share, Simpson Manufacturing Company is in the 1% portion of the building industry. Based on the share price ranking found on Merger Online, Simpson Manufacturing was ranked 7th position with a share price of $43.71. Horizontal analysis confirmed that revenues had increased, net income was positive for the past 3 years, cash and cash equivalents decreased then increased again, total liabilities increased steadily, stockholders' equity fluctuated throughout the years. Upon doing the vertical analysis for the company, revenues increased by a total of 8.39%. Between 2015 and 16, net income had a larger increase rate at 32.18%. Simpson Manufacturing revenue as well as net income has both been at total stockholders' equity as well as total assets shows a fluctuation between the years 2014 to 2016. In 2014 to 2015, there was a decrease. In 2015-16 increase. According to the amounts recorded for the past 3 years in the operating expense as well as total liability, there have been an increase over the past 3 years.
Now it's time to meet the board of directors from left to right. Peter N. Loris, Jennifer A. Chapman, Karen Colonius, James S. Andrasic, Celeste Bowles Ford, Gary M. Cusamo, Robin Greenway McGillery, Michael A. Bless. Directors are expected to both challenge and support management. They are expected to encourage, critique, and discuss, to work together in a healthy atmosphere and give and take, and when necessary, to make tough, constructive decisions. The board employs a balanced capital allocation strategy that utilizes free cash flow to grow the business through capital expenditures, acquisitions, and to provide returns for stockholders through dividends and share repurchases. Simpson has increased its quarterly dividend by 80% since 2010 and repurchased 166.7 million shares since 2011. Part of the 2013 dividend was accelerated due to uncertainty of changes to the tax code in 2013. The graph shows from 2010 to 2015 dividends per share. Outside investors. The following graphs show the net sales and stockholders' equity as well as the earnings per share taken directly off the Simpson Manufacturing website. Net sales is in yellow, stockholder equity in orange, earnings per share in blue from 2012 to 2016. It shows that the equity has always been above the net sales, but not by much. And as the years progress, earnings per share continue to rise.
Upon researching Simpson Manufacturing, our firm collected essential challenges within the company that could have been restricted the company from growth. Each challenge shows a point where critical issues may happen.
For the external analysis, we look to outside factors that contribute to the gains and losses of sales and profits for Simpson Manufacturing. Here we see a pie chart that shows the entire market share of Simpson's industry in which they operate. Fasteners, wood, and concrete are the three main operating segments. The current concrete market share is $15 billion a year. $3.5 billion, or 23% of this concrete, is Simpson's share of the market. Fasteners contribute $5 billion of market share within the industry. Simpson's market share of that is $500 million, or 10%. The wood construction industry contributes to $1.4 billion of the market share, in which Simpson Manufacturing's market share is 100%. Next, we come to the key success factors in the external environment for Simpson Manufacturing Incorporated. Marketing, reputation, and finance are critical to the industry of building construction. With great marketing and a strong partnership or repeat customer, there is a big advantage over other firms. In order for any company in any industry to take in a business, a company must create revenue. Of course, technology is one of the first processes to help become successful. Research and development is the key to opening new ways Simpson Manufacturing can sell materials and to whom. It helps to manufacture globally because the costs are lower and different types of materials can be used worldwide. It helps to build a partnership as well. When it comes to accountability, Simpson Manufacturing is very good. The company keeps a thorough record of the inventory because when dealing globally and nationwide, Simpson Manufacturing has to have enough inventory on. Next, in the external analysis, we look to the competitive assessments, which shows Simpson Manufacturing's closest competitors in the assessment summary using Porter's 5 Forces model. Here we can see some of Simpson's closest competitors being Snap-on and Stanley Black & Decker. Next, we use a pestle analysis to determine the driving forces in the external environment. Here we see that some of the forces include the 2017 presidential election being a major political force, increasing labor and material costs being a major economic force, home reconstruction rising, and do-it-yourself culture expanding, being part of the socio-cultural driving force, technological advances in the technology force, increased prosecution of safety and fraud events being some of the legal forces in the external environment, and greenhouse gas emissions. Finally, in our external analysis of the external environment, we come to the critical change summary based on opportunities and threats. Opportunities include investment into further do-it-yourself research and development, buying more market share, investing further into home improvement research and development, taking advantage of current economic swing, continuous investment into innovation. Threats include low customer switching costs, few suppliers driving the price of raw materials, public expectations, increase in concrete production costs, and economies of
The strategic group map shows the companies grouped together that were determined based on their price and quality and their product line breadth. In the same circle, you have Simpson Manufacturing, Stanley Black & Decker, and Snap-on. These would be considered our clients' firm's closest competitors. The sizes of the circles that surround the groups of competitors is determined by the size of the group's share of total industry sales revenues. Although they are not drawn to scale, the circles show which groups have smaller shares and which groups have larger shares out of the total shared revenue amount. Snap-on Inc., a close competitor of Simpson Manufacturing, shows their fourth quarter results of operations for 2015 and 2016. In the last 2 years, Snap-on has seen some changes. They are relatively in the same financial spot in 2015 as in 2016, but little influxes mean they are improving and following through with their mission of trying to become one of the most valued overall in the world in their field. Their net earnings increased 11.3%, showing improvement for the Snap-on team. This figure comes directly from Stanley Black & Decker's annual reports. As the following tables show, Stanley Black & Decker has an increase in their net earnings from 2015 to 2016 at about $61 million. The company has been on a positive trend for the last 3 years at least and continues to show improvement except in their average capital employed. This seems to be on the downward trend, going from $10 billion to about $9.9 billion in the last year, and has seen a massive drop from 2014's $10.7 billion.
During the internal analysis, Globex determined many strengths of Simpson Manufacturing. The image here lists 12 top strengths, but the concluded top 5 strengths are financial stability of the firm, high-quality products, profitability margins, continual stock price increase, and continual. Globex also determined many weaknesses of the firm during the internal analysis. The image shown lists the top 12 weaknesses our firm seeked out. The top 5 most important we concluded are poor human resource positioning, low offerings of product value, slow or sometimes stagnant growth of market share, being behind in technology compared to competitors, and less efficient software manufacturing compared to competitors. Simpson Manufacturing creates value to their stakeholders in many ways. The first image lists some of these activities, such as having trusting products that are globally recognized and continuous innovation. The second image shows examples of their social responsibilities, such as their environmental efforts, social programs, and their governance. During our assessment of Simpson Manufacturing, we sought out the top 3 critical issues. The first critical issue being that the majority of revenue comes from one region when the firm manufactures and distributes in many other regions. The image shows each segment's net sales as a percentage compared to the total net sales in 2015 and 2016. It is obvious that the majority of revenue comes from North America. The second critical issue Globex has determined is economies of scale putting larger manufacturers at a financial disadvantage. The image here shows the company's operating results as a percentage of net sales for 2016, 15, and 14. The firm would like to see an improved net income percentage. The third critical issue we determined is that concrete-based products have a relatively low profit margin. In the image, when comparing wood products to concrete products, the profit margin for concrete products is almost 15% less than wood products in 2016. You can also see the increase from 2014 to 2016 is 3% in wood products and only 1% in concrete products.
The SWOT analysis shown shows 5 of Simpson Manufacturing strengths and opportunities. Each one is different from the other, but they could be paired up in certain ways to make Simpson Manufacturing a better company and a growing company.
Our first critical issue shows that a majority of our revenue was coming from the North American region. So our first recommendation will be to purchase and acquire more foreign assets. A simple explanation shows that purchasing proven market leaders abroad will allow Simpson Manufacturing to move into these markets much easier. Our second critical issue shows that economies of scale were putting larger manufacturers at a financial disadvantage. So our second recommendation are to find ways to create greater value. Simple explanation would be to create greater value for current and future customers and cause them to shop no longer based purely on price. Our third critical issue showed us that there were low profit margins of concrete-based products. So our third recommendation will be to expand the line of concrete products. Simple explanation would be creating a greater product offering to this market. Simpson will be able to gain greater market share.
For the first recommendation to purchase more foreign assets, you can see a summary of the implementation plan on the left of the screen. The plan will take around 5 years and consist of increasing market marketing, increasing assets in current and future regions, and also research into what new regions the firm should open in. The map on the right shows in yellow distribution of the firm's products and in red the actual operational facilities. Creating new ways to increase the value of Simpson Manufacturing to its customers is our second recommendation. The implementation plan on the left shows that the milestones include creating a reward and loyalty program. An idea would be to give customers a card such as the one displayed on the right. It is a short-term plan that could be accomplished within a year. Our third recommendation to Simpson Manufacturing is to expand the firm's line of concrete-based products. To do this, the firm needs to increase marketing of the concrete products, invest in improvement of automated manufacturing, and then increase production when necessary. This is a long-term plan and should be spread out over 5 years. The image on the left shows further details of the plan.
The execution for recommendation number 1, which is to purchase more foreign assets and combine the high-quality Simpson name with well-known products across different markets, has 4 tasks. Task number 1 is to increase marketing and sales efforts in current regions other than the United States. Task 2, invest more in assets in current operating regions other than the United States. Task 3, determine which new regions Simpson Manufacturing should open new offices, factories in. And Task 4, open new office and factories in those chosen regions of the world. There are start dates and end dates in which to check the progress of how this is doing. Execution for recommendation number 2. That Simpson Manufacturing will look to continue creating a much higher quality product but find more ways to create greater value. Along with that becomes 3 tasks. Task number 1 is to implement a customer rewards program for repeat customers. Task number 2, implement a customer loyalty program for longtime customers. This will keep the customers coming back. And task number 3 creates brand awareness and do a marketing push. This will get the Simpson name out there. For execution plan number 3, Simpson must complete 3 tasks. All the tasks are the same, but are at years 1, 3, and 5. First, in 2018, Simpson Manufacturing will see how much of the market they have after implementing all of their recommendations comparing to the previous year's market share. Simpson will then do this at years 2019 and 2023. If Simpson stays on top of these tasks, by year 5, Simpson will have captured a large percentage of their market share. And this time, the board of directors will have the financial team report these numbers to them in onset dates. The marketing department will be conducting R&D in the meantime, trying to grasp what their customer base likes most about them and try to build brand awareness.
Next, we look at the stakeholder impact for recommendation number 1. We see an increase in the price of stocks, and an increase in profits and higher dividend returns for stakeholders. We see further opportunities for current employees and further opportunities for future employees. We see expansion into markets to accommodate more customers. And finally, finding new regions of the company has yet to operate. Stakeholder impact for recommendation number 2 once again shows us increase in the price of stocks, increase in profits, and higher dividend returns for stockholders. Employees will see further opportunities as well as future employees. Customers, rewards programs will create more repeat customers as well as loyalty programs will draw in new customers. Learning and growth regain former customers with these new loyalty programs, and brand awareness creates sales boosts in otherwise stagnant areas of the market. Stakeholder impact for our final recommendation. Once again, we see an increase in the price of stock as well as value added to the company for the stockholders. Employees will pay more attention to customers' needs and requests. Having customers stay loyal to Simpson, having customers spread good word of Simpson by word-of-mouth advertising and giving recommendations for the customers. Learning and growth. Simpson will learn how to add value to their business as well as learn better what their customer wants.
Globex would like to personally thank Karen Colonius and the rest of the firm for putting your trust and confidence in our work. We hope you enjoyed our presentation and that our assessment will help Simpson Manufacturing to continue to grow now and well into the future.